If you're like most business owners, maybe you're scratching your head and thinking, how am I going to grow my profits and improve my cash flow? You know, you're working long hours and you're trying all sorts of different things, but none of it seems to be working. This video is going to make a huge difference. We're going to look at the only 5 ways in any business there are to grow the profits in your business. So by the end of this, you're going to have a bunch of ideas and strategies you can go and put into place straight away, aren't going to cost you a lot of money, and start to get those profits to get going. Hi there, I'm Brad Flynn and I'm the author of Find Your Cash. And since 2010, I've worked with literally thousands of business owners to help them uncover tens of millions of dollars of cash they were leaving sitting on their table. This video and this channel is all about working with business owners just like you to help you find the cash you're leaving lying on the table. So let's rip in and find you some cash today. You see, you can think of a business a bit like a car. All cars have this thing called a chassis that the vehicle is actually built on, where the engine sits on it and the whole interior and everything, the wheels are sitting on this chassis. Now, what I'm going to teach you today is the chassis for business. The 5 areas that make up a business that you can tweak and tune and change to get better performance out of your business, and it's not that hard. So whether your car at the moment, your business vehicle is doing a bit tough and maybe being bashed around a bit, or if it's roaring along like a Formula 1 race car that's going gangbusters, doesn't matter. What I'm going to share with you is going to help you actually improve it, whatever your current position. You see, most business owners are really good at knowing how many customers they've got, what sort of revenues they've had, and if they're lucky, they've got a pretty good idea on what their profit's been. However, these things are all just end results. Okay, so let's string it all together now with all the different parts of what these 5 ways are. So like I mentioned, people generally know how many customers roughly they have, how much revenue, how much profit, but these are all actually end results. What influences customers' revenue and profits? Let's break it down and have a look. First of all, you've got leads. A lead is someone who's in the market. They're looking to buy. Hopefully we can get them to buy from you, but they have put their hand up and said, hey, listen, I'm interested. Maybe it's someone walks into your shop. Maybe it's someone you give a quote to. Maybe it's someone who gives you a call up and asks you a few questions over the phone. Either way, a lead is someone who's interested in buying what you have to offer. Then you've got the conversion rate. Now, the conversion rate is simply the number of people who put their hand up and then actually commit to buy, and you get the money from them. So let's say you have 10 people who ring your business up and say, hey, I'm looking to get such and such. How much does it cost? Blah, blah, blah. And you actually convert them into a sale. Let's say you get 3 out of 10. That would be conversion rate of 30%. We're going to plug some numbers in. You're going to see what's going on. Okay. Now, when you multiply the leads by the conversion rate, you get your customers. Now, once we've got customers, there's a couple of things that we want to do. So they're the first 2 of our 5 ways. Now with our customers, we want to get them to buy repeat transactions with us. So we want to increase their number of transactions. In other words, how often do we get the people to come back and buy from us in a year? Some people might only buy once, some people might buy once a week or once a month. It doesn't matter. We want to do what we can to keep them coming back to our business, keeping in touch with them. That's number of transactions. Guys, if you're enjoying this, make sure you subscribe to my channel. There's a bunch of different things I can share with you. Also, I have a free small business financial course. The list down below will show you how you can get hold of it. I'm sure it'll make a massive difference in your business. The next thing we're going to get them to do is spend more money with us. So we're going to increase what's known as our average dollar sale. A bit like number of transactions, some people may spend a lot, some people may not spend that much. Some people might only spend 10 bucks, some people might spend $1,000. But what we're looking for here is what's the average, okay? Because if we average it all out, when we multiply it all together, as you'll see, we can get some accurate figures. Now, if you multiply the number of customers you have by the average number of transactions and the average dollar sale, so we're going to average that out over the whole year, that's going to give us what the revenue for the business is. Now we get to the good bit, the revenue multiplied by your margin. The margin. Now remember, margin is a fancy word for what we get to keep. So once we've done all our running costs and everything that's happening in the business, that's the bit we're going to get to keep. So we want to be getting this to improve as we go as well. The revenue multiplied by your margin gives us our profits. So let's jump in and punch some numbers into this and see how it turns out. So let's imagine in our business for the next 12 months or the last 12 months, we had 400 leads And 25% of those actually became customers. So they bought from us. So we now have, for the last 12 months, 100 customers. And on average, they bought 4 times. Some might have bought more, some might have bought less. But on average, we had 4 purchases per customer who each spent $250. Now, don't get too carried away in the detail of this. I just want you to understand and see what's going on. So if we have 100 customers who bought 4 times and spent $250, 100 times 4 times 250 gives us the revenue for the business, which is 100 grand. So as you can see with this, you can scale this to whatever size your business is. You know, if you're half of this or double this or 10 times this, this will let you see what's going on. Now we're going to multiply by our margin. And let's say we had a margin of 30%. So we've got to keep 30%. So the profits for the business are 30,000. Now watch, if we increase each of these 5 ways by just 10%, watch what happens. So now, if we increase the leads we had by 10%, so we're going to add 10% to it. So 400 becomes 440. So really quickly, let's have a look at some quick strategies you can do with your lead. For your lead gen, first of all, the best thing for lead generation is referrals. When was the last time you actually asked for a referral from one of your customers? Say, hey, who do you know that might be able to benefit from working us in the way that you do and we got a good relationship with? Could you be able to maybe pass our details on to them? The other thing that works really, really well for leads is get clear on who you want. Leads is like fishing. You got to know where your ideal customers are. If you are going to do some advertising, make sure you're at least putting the hooks in front of them where they are, wherever they are in your marketplace. Our conversion rate, we're going to increase by 10%, not add 10%. We're going to increase by 10%. So 10% and 25 is 2.5. If you haven't seen my other videos, go and look how we do margins and percentages. 27.5. Second thing, conversion rate. You must be measuring this. If you're not measuring it, how are you going to improve it? Okay, just by measuring it. I've seen with business owners, when they just start to measure it, the conversion rate starts to go up. So that's the first thing. The second thing I'd suggest you do is get some testimonials. People need social proof these days. Get some videos of some of your best customers saying how they've enjoyed working with you and what some of the benefits have been. Video testimonials these days are an absolute must. If you haven't checked out my channel, you can see some of my video testimonials as well. So now we have 121 customers. Now we're going to look at increasing the number of transactions. So we're going to increase our transactions by 10%. Number of transactions, how do we get them to come back? This one's really simple. First of all, you've got to have provided them with a great customer experience when they've purchased with you. But keep in touch with them. You know, send them a thank you card for when they buy from you. When was the last time someone actually thanked you for buying from you? What about if you've got their birthday? Somewhere along the lines, maybe you've been able to get their details for their birthday. Even just a quick phone call. If you don't have some email newsletters keeping in touch with them, the secret here is just keep in touch with them. So it becomes 4.4. What about our average dollar sale? We're going to increase it by 10%, and it's going to go to $275. Average dollar sale. This one's a really simple one. This is just about having check sheets and questionnaires. Make sure when you're talking to the person, you're asking them lots of good questions to find out exactly what they need so you can give them exactly the product or service that they are looking for. You know, have you ever been to Bunnings or a hardware store or a Walmart or a Home Depot or one of those things and you go in and you didn't have a checklist and you got home and you realized all these things that you forgot? Imagine if you had someone asking, okay, so you're going to paint the wall. So have you got your drop sheets? Great. Have you got your paint brushes? Yep. Got your roller, got your stirrers, got everything else. If you've got check sheets, you're going to boost your average dollar sale. Now the sales for the business are $146,000. So 10% in each of those one little areas, each of those first 4 areas has given us a 46% increase in our sales. Now, let's have a look at our margins. Margins, we're going to increase by 10%, goes to 33%. What are your highest margin products and services? We want to focus on selling them. The more of them we sell, the better off our margin's going to be. So if you're not looking at and knowing what your highest margins are, check them out. I've just had a case recently with someone when we started working on margins, we got their margin to go from was around the mid 40s up to the mid 50s. Now, if we had been holding that margin for the last 12 months, we actually would have made an extra $250,000 profit in this business. 3%. So now we've got $48,315 in revenue. That's a whopping 46% increase in sales or revenue and a 61% increase in profits. Just for fun, let's do this. You ready? Okay, so here we go, 100%, which basically means we're going to double all of our variables. So our leads goes from 400 to 800. Our conversion rate goes from 25 to 50. Now we have 400 customers. Now these things won't happen overnight, probably not likely in 12 months, but over 3 to 5 years I've worked with people, we've got these sorts of results. So transactions increase by 100%. We go from 4 to 8. Average dollar sale, we go from $250 to $500. And of course, now, what do you think our sales or our revenue or income for the business is? It's a whopping $1.6 million. Wow, that's huge. So let's keep going. We're not done yet. Now we're going to double our margin. So our 30% goes to 60%. Now, if you're really good at maths and you've been doing the calcs in the back of your head, maybe you worked out what this is going to be. Our new profits, $960,000. Profit, just under $1 million. So, and the way that I suggest you work on these, the order is crucial. Now, I've listed them out this way. Leads is last. Don't do leads first because it costs money. If you do the other ones, you might be able to get away with not having to invest in it. So number one, you're going to do margins first, okay? Nice and easy, check your figures, understand your numbers. Number two is conversion rate. We're going to work on your sales process so that you are making sure that the ones that you come, you're converting them, because there's no use in doing a whole bunch of lead stuff if you're not converting them as well as you possibly could. Number three is average dollar sale. And again, that's just some basic scripts and some sales process. So far, none of this is costing you anything. Number four is transactions. Maybe you might send thank you cards or a phone call. Either way, it's still not going to be that expensive. Just show people that you love them and that you care for them. And then last, and yes, definitely least, don't spend money on leads until you've got all this other stuff worked out, because you're probably going to have holes in your bucket. The more you tip it in your bucket, the more that's going to come out. So do them in these orders and you're going to make a big difference to your bottom line. So there you have it, the only 5 ways to grow any business that you're working on. If this has been valuable to you, make sure you subscribe, check out some of the resources down below. Follow my channel, I do a video each week with tips and things for your business. Look forward to seeing you next time around. Have a profitable day.